Dear members of the ATT community, today we conclude another conference of the state parties to the Arms Trade Treaty, a landmark instrument in the history of peace and international security, disarmament, arms control, and the progressive development of international human rights and humanitarian law. We have to reflect always upon where we started and how much we have achieved in such a short time. 25 years ago, the UN Register of Conventional Weapons started to work as the first mechanism to promote transparency and information exchange in arms trade. At that time, the world was experiencing a unique moment in history, and the disarmament negotiations at the end of the Cold War were very much concentrated in the non-proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, and several instruments were approved regarding nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons. But the recurrence of illicit arms transfers continued to put at risk international peace and security, and continued to contribute to enhancing of human suffering in different conflicts around the globe. That is why states, civil society, and the international community as a whole decided to create ATT as a new step in order to strengthen the disarmament agenda of the UN and of the world, including for the first time international obligations for transparency, information, and prevention of diversion in the context of arms trade. For the first time, a treaty linked the regulation of arms trade to the obligations under international human rights and humanitarian law. As you know, the conference this year was held through written procedure on an exceptional basis due to the COVID-19 outbreak. This pandemic has impacted the world as a whole, and multilateralism was not an exception. The way we conducted our business in this conference prevented all of us, states and civil society, from engaging in the most valuable practice of any multilateral endeavor, that is, the face-to-face meetings, the possibility of expressing our ideas before or during the conference in a format that allows the search for consensus language, the consultations, and the dialogue with civil society. Nevertheless, the online work in the past month has been enormous, and the proof of that amount of work is the important set of draft decisions that were put under consideration of this sixth conference, several of which involved unprecedented new tools of the international community for improving transparency and avoiding diversion of weapons. One of these new tools is Decision 13 that was adopted by this conference. For the first time, the international community will have a diversion information exchange forum in order to fulfill the implementation of Article 11 of the ATT. This important decision will make possible for this forum to start working immediately in 2021, and we have decided that once we experience and evaluate the first year of functioning of the forum, we will be able to revise its terms of reference the following year at CSP 8, making adjustments if necessary. I thank especially the delegations of Mexico and Belgium for the hard work behind this proposal, carrying out constant consultations in order to achieve consensus in something that for sure will be a legacy of ATT to the international community. Unfortunately, some other important decisions could not be taken by silent procedure, because a few delegations broke the silence, requesting to continue discussing some of these initiatives at the next conference. We understand that the format did not allow further discussions on each proposal, but we decided to have the sixth conference in this format instead of postponing it, due to the importance of the issues under consideration. So, at our next conference, we will be able to continue discussions. I would also like to highlight, being a representative of Argentina, one of the countries that has been since the beginning in the development and establishment of ATT, the positive fact that since our last conference, several states have joined the ATT, reaching 110 state parties in a record time since it was open to signature. During our presidency, we were able to welcome to the ATT community the states of the Maldives, Namibia, Sao Tome Príncipe, Afghanistan, Niue, and China. Newcomers like China, a country that represents a significant percentage of the world's arms trade, show the strength of ATT, the commitment of the international community in enhancing its implementation, and the support of multilateralism in order to bring more peace and international security and stability and less human suffering. That is the greater picture that we should always remember when dealing with the ATT decisions. Finally, I would like to thank the extraordinary support given to the Presidency and my delegation by the Secretariat, by other delegations, and by the representatives of civil society and industry. I'm grateful to all actors for the flexibility shown in accepting the unprecedented format of this conference due to unprecedented circumstances. I welcome and congratulate the incoming CSP7 President, the permanent representative of Sierra Leone. I wish all of you the best in your next projects as nations and as individuals. Stay safe and healthy. And with this, I declare the end of the 6th Conference of State Parties of the Arms Trade Treaty. Thank you.